everyone to IUSTO at the open house for the coach development program. Greetings from the CEO, Alessio Rocche, and the academic director at IUSTO, Claudia Cavarino. And I thank all you have chosen to spend an afternoon with us, discovering new skills. And thanks all the professor of the faculties who carry out this work in the afternoon. This project is the result of a co-construction we have been building for a year. Today start the project and begins despite the physical distance between the two continents from USA to Italy, and also despite the sad situation of health in all the world about COVID. IUSTO is a small university, but it's a university that offers high professional service, and together with Teleos, we offer innovation and quality in this program of coaching. Quindi, then, again, welcome to everyone. And now Maria Grazia help us to start in this program.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to help myself with some slide. Can you see my screen? Can you see it?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Fine. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So welcome to everyone. Thank you very much for joining us to this virtual open house. I am Maria Grazia Vataneo. Some of you know me already. For this course, together with Francis Johnston, I am the scientific director of this program. And I'm going to explain a little bit what this program is about, and also to show you some agenda. As Andrea was saying before, this program is a result of 1 year work between Teleos and IUSTO University. We made a specific partnership in order to develop this program. And we believed in it, Teleos and IUSTO, and we are still deeply believing in it. And I'm saying this because, as you know, all of us all over the world, we are living in this difficult situation due to the pandemic, which means that we designed the program in one way, and then we have to quickly change the program in the other way. And in fact, we are here today in the virtual open house and not in presence, which means also that we had to change the program design from presence to distance. So I'm going to quickly show you the program. I hope that I won't be boring you so much, but before I start, I would like to ask to all of you if you have some experience in coaching, just by raising your hand, if you want to raise your hand, just to see. Maybe some of you have experience as a coachee, or maybe some of you have delivered a coaching session already, or maybe some of you are using coaching methodology in your job, in your work with your team. Okay, how many hands do you see? Francis, how many hands? Raise your hands. Okay.
And you can raise your hand virtually too with the chat feature.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Without having to turn your camera on.
Yeah.
I see some hands. I see at least 10.
Yeah. And anyhow, we are going to ask you after which are also your expectation and your experience because during this open house, we are going to do some small groups in order that, you know, you can feel the methodology a little bit and also know the faculty better. Okay, so the program is a specialization course to train professional coaches mainly, and it's aimed also to give particular relevance to the ethical aspect of the practice, and also raising professional standard. And ethical aspects are very, very important for us. But even if you don't want to become a professional coach, it's also intended for for the people that are interested in acquiring coaching knowledge and tools that you can use for better relationship management and performance needs in your work, in your job. Or, as I said before, if you want to become a professional coach, and let's see how you can do it. Something about the methodologies. The methodology is very practical, which means that we are going to do a lot of practice, but we are also using a methodology that is grounded in research and mainly in emotional intelligence, resonant leadership, and system theory. And is designed also for your development. And you are going to have continuous feedback from faculty coaches and from the faculty trainer. You will get university specialization diploma, the coach development program, and also the ACTP, which is the accredited coach training program certificate, if you want to have the ICF certification. In this course, you will, first of all, you're going to learn the coaching methodology, and with a focus also on helping relation. This again is very, very important because many things have been said about coaching, about coaching, but sometimes people are a bit confused, and there is a bit of confusion between coaching, counseling, psychotherapy. So it's very, very important also to know exactly which kind of methodology you're using in coaching. And then you're also going to develop a deep understanding of yourself and get awareness of how you are in a coaching relationship, and how you are experienced by other people. This means that you're also going to do a work on yourself and self-reflection on your interpersonal style, of your interpersonal communication and relation style. We are going to teach you also the fundamentals of human behavior and also how adult grows and change. We think this is very, very important as to have fundamentals in theory before you can start using coaching methodology. And also we are going to teach you, or maybe you are going to learn, the presence and skills that will facilitate transformational change in your clients. You're going to develop the required ICF core competencies if you want to carry out the professional coaching activity, which means that if you want to become a certified ICF professional coach, you need to deeply, deeply know ICF core competencies, but it's not only in a theoretical way, but really, let me say, to practice these skills. And then maybe you might be also interested in developing an international coaching network, which can be useful also if you're going to be a coach. I mean, you make friends, you meet other people, and you're going to do this by meeting, for instance, your coaching peers and also all the faculty and the master coach. And you will learn, as I said before, the ACTP, the Accredited Coach Training Program that will lead you toward the ICF certification. We are going to explain you at the end which are the steps to get the ICF certification. And then you will have a university specialization diploma that will give you 22 credits. So let's see the structure. The duration of the course is 6 months. And we are going to start in January next year, 2021, until June. And it will be 160 hours in presence. In presence means now that we are going to do everything from distance, but you must be present in the room. And then there are other hours of personal study. And the structure of the course is 3 modules. You see that we have the module 1. In the module 1, we are going to do the preparation for the coaching methodology, where we are going to do theories, but also we started doing some practice. And then in the module 2 and 3, it will be the STP program. And then we have the final meeting, one day of a final meeting where we are going to have the conclusion and the final evaluation. And we do really hope that this final meeting that will be in, as you can see, the 20th of June, we really hope that we can do it in presence and that we can do it in Torino. This is what was meant to be. Now in Italy, we have again a lockdown. Well, the Italian participants, they know that we have 3 different zones now, the yellow, the orange and the red one. So we are in a lockdown situation again, and many other countries in Europe and all over the world are again in lockdown. I do really hope that the things are going better. But anyhow, I think that we can manage, because I discovered in myself that despite a bit of depression at the beginning, in March, where the lockdown started, I discovered that actually I learned a lot of things and during this lockdown period. So I mean, let's hope that that the situation is getting better. Okay, so this is the agenda for the module 1. As you can see, it's a bit different from what we showed before, because at the beginning it was meant to be in presence during 2 weekends, Saturday and Sunday. But since we are going online for everything, we decided that we are going to have 6 hours on Saturday and 2 hours on Monday, in order that you have the Sunday to think about and to do your reflection. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. And if you have any question, as Andrea was saying, you can put your question in the chat, and we are going to answer to all your questions at the end. But also, if you want, you can have also follow-up conversation with me and other people from the faculty. And I also want to mention that this is the first edition of this program starting in January. And we are planning to have a second edition in fall, maybe in September, October. So thank you again. And now I leave the room to Elena.
So hello to all. I'm glad to be here now, and I'm going to introduce you who we are and who are the person beside this program. So for first, you have heard now Maria Grazia Vataneo Fei, the program, one of the two program directors. She, as you can see, she's a psychologist. She is a certified professional coach at ICF Certification. She is visiting professor of human resources management psychology and vocational psychology at IUSTO in the Faculty of Psychology. And she has more than 20 years of experience in different fields in people development, coaching, training, potential assessment, leadership development, change management services, and experience in the national and international context and organizations. But with her, we have also Frances Johnson. She's a PhD. Sorry, I heard someone.
Sì, ricorda a tutti di mettere in mute su Zoom se state seguendo la traduzione, perché sennò si sente l'eco. Grazie.
Grazie. Thank you. So we have also Frances Johnson, as you can see in the slide. She is a PhD, co-founder of Teleos Leadership Institute. She's also co-author of Becoming a Resonant Leader, and she's founding faculty member of Teleos Coach Development Program, an ICF accredited program that you are going to explore with us. Over the course of her 20 and more years of career, she has become a trust mentor and coach to the C-level executive and top team across different organizations in the very sectors. So with her work, she encourages and develops values-based and resonant leadership. At the Scientific Technical Committee, for sure, we are again Maria Grazia and Frances, and together with them, we have Alessio Rocchi, the CEO at IUSTO and tenured professor in pedagogical chair. Since 2010, he is a member of the board of directors in IUSTO, and until 2019, he held the position of general director. He directs the series IUSTO Studies and Research, which he founded in 2015. And since 2018, he has been the continental representative for Europe in the worldwide coordination of the Youth Educational Group. He is an educator and a pedagogist, and for that he founded, coordinated, and directed various social educational services. And the person you meet at the first was Andrea Pintonello. He is a psychologist specialized in the psychomotricity, school orientation, sport pedagogy, and at IUSTO, he's in charge of permanent professor of the chair of development and educational psychologist and head of educational science area. He also teaches psychologies of guidance and the social pedagogy and community work. He is a member of the pastoral team and is worked as an educator at aggregated servers for minors. Now, together with Maria Grazia, Frances, and Andrea, I'm going to present you the faculty's member. So, who is directly in charge for delivering the training, the session, and the intensive part of this program. So, the first one is Marco Bertola, the translator for us now, and is professional certified coach, trainer, and organizational development consultant. He is a Master of Science in Positive Organizational Development and Change from the University of Cleveland. And he's also professor of emotional intelligence, one of our core topic in our program at the Lewick University, and collaborates as a mentor and supervisor for several coach training programs. He has more than 15 years of experience in leadership development, change management, and coaching. And he has worked internationally, both as an external as well as an internal consultant in the corporation. Claudia Chiavarino, the academic director of IUSTO, is full professor of psychology and psychometrics. She is a psychologist specialized in cognitive psychotherapy and PhD in neuropsychology from the University of Birmingham. She has published more than 20 papers in international journals and is an expert in social cognition and health psychologies, with a strong focus on the promotion of well-being in individuals and communities. So I leave the space to Lindsay.
Hi, so I'm Lindsay Bingaman, and I am a coach and consultant at Teleos Leadership Institute based in the US. I'm happy to join you all today, and I'm going to step in and introduce Elena. So Elena is a psychologist and an ACC coach. She's a visiting professor for community and social psychology and training design and delivery at IUSTO. She has a background in organizational psychology and works in organizations around the globe to develop people and leaders in organizations. And most recently, we had Elena come to join us in Philadelphia for a coaching cohort, which was lovely to get to know her better and in preparation for the work that we're going to be doing in Italy.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'm also happy to present my colleague in the US, Gretchen Schmelzer, who has 26 years of experience as an executive coach and in transformational leadership. And Gretchen is also the author recently of a book called Journey Through Trauma, which supports people to heal from trauma that they have experienced in their lives. She's also a trained psychologist and has a doctorate in counseling psychology. And she has designed and facilitated emotional intelligence-based leadership programs around the globe. She's also supported teams and organizations to become more positive, humane, and effective places to work. And Gretchen's a founding member of our Teleos Coach Development Program. She's been faculty now, I believe, for almost over 20 cohorts. So she's looking forward to supporting you all as we bring this program to Italy.
And I'm also glad to present you Franco Tartaglia, the psychologist, trainer, and psychotherapist. He is a visiting professor of method and technique of evaluation and intervention in organization, training psychology at IUSTO, at Faculty of Psychology. He is a specialist in leadership development, team building, and effective communication programs. He works as a consultant in business and training management, in supervision and coaching. And he collaborates with national and international organizations in different sectors. And last but not least, Francesca Romana Vender, degree in law and in occupational psychologist. She's a certified master coach, advisors in society for coaching psychology. And she's an individual expert for the DG of the European Commission Education and Cultures and Informational Society. And she's a consultant for individual and group coaching activities, leadership program, training, potential assessment, and people development at national and international level. So she works also as a certified supervisor, coach, mentor. And so just after the introduction of her, I leave the floor to Francesca and Marco. So I stop my presentation to let them see you.
Marco, please.
No, you can go because then I translate you and then I do it.
Okay. I present myself. Okay, I'm Francesca Romana, because my hometown is Rome. I'm in Rome at the moment.
Francesca, metti solo in mute su... Ah no, scusa, dall'altra parte, perché sennò si sente l'eco. Scusa. Okay. Yeah. Zoom, però. Non in Zoom, però se non ti sentono loro. Okay. Togli il volume dall'altra parte solo perché...
There is nothing. the other side. Okay. Okay. It's okay. Okay. So I'm a professional. Okay. I'm a person that is passionate of arts in general. I love to watch movies, take pictures with the camera, painting. I have a lot of passion. So my background is organizational behavior and psychology for leadership development. So I started in 1992 in Rome. Then I moved to Brussels and Milan and Brussels. And in Milan, something changed when I arrived in 2002. I felt a sort of pain or I don't know, suffering, because I was searching meaning, like Viktor Frankl. And in 2002 there was 100 years from the birth of Viktor Frankl, and I participated in a congress about the search of meaning, and for me it was a wonderful place. And so I started to search a meaning for my job, for my relationship, for my family. From 2002 2008, I started to study psychology, and I started to be more close to the coaching as a methodology. But when I met Teleos, I met a sort of a school, a professional school with standard, blah blah blah. But I met mainly a family and a home, a sort of home, because I discovered a lot of things that I knew in theory, in practice. So, for example, emotional intelligence, that now everybody talking about emotional intelligence, and I knew what emotional intelligence was. Yes, but I practice. I make practice with a lot of exercise, with a lot of coaching, one-on-one, in group, in the Teleos program. So I remember when I talked with the other Andrea. Do you remember Andrea, the friend of you? We said, do you imagine to do these things in our organization in Italy, in our companies? It could be amazing, because it's like a joke. It's like a. But I understood that we had to disrupt our methodology in doing training, because emotional intelligence is more than a definition. I discovered also the bioenergetic practice. I discover my body. I discover how it's important to think about my dark side in our process in Teleos coaching program. I discover something that I knew. For example, the MBTI, that is a methodology to map people in the dynamics and in practical applications. And then I remember the 360 feedback. That was my first 360 feedback about my approach of conversation, about my coaching process. And imagine, in 2008, I remember that I discovered how to reinforce my spiritual faith in God. So it was something that I had my faith in God, but with all these methodologies and science and people, firstly, with all these people, I reinforce my relationship with God, and so my spirituality. So now my clients enjoy my coaching approach that is focused more with heart, both on being more mindful and practical problem solving, combining emotional intelligence and competence. And then I'm happy my executive, my senior manager, my high potential people that I follow are very good with my challenge, but also kind process. And they appreciate that I can be challenged and supportive at the same time. But that is something that I have seen in Teleos, not only heard in Teleos. So this is my experience, and last but not least, I started in 2017, yes, 2017 in Milan, a voluntary social project. Yes, we call it Liberi Dentro. That is group coaching with the prisoners in a big prison that is in the center of Milan. And this involves 30 voluntary. There is one of them here. The name is Livia. And we involved 200 prisoners. And we are using exactly the same exercise and practice and that is around emotional intelligence with them. So what I want to say is that Teleos is not the bottega of Ghirlandaio, that, if you remember, the Renaissance in the that was only standard and you know, rules and okay, something that is very good, but Teleos is more like the bottega of Verrocchio, where Leonardo da Vinci was. Okay, so creativity is part of the process. So you can add your personal, as you are with your design, with your projects. So you can create your personal ICF standard, okay, but your personal process. So thank you, Fran, for your help. Okay.
Okay.
As I was saying, I cannot translate, so I don't know if Andrea can step in Teams and translate, otherwise.
Posso tradurre io qualcosina?
Okay, or Francesca can translate, yes. Okay. So what I want to add about the Teleos program, so to bring my testimonial, because I was actually
quello che voglio aggiungere.
The first participant. Devi solo metterti mute su Zoom ora, Francesca.
Ah sì, grazie.
Esatto.
Già muto.
No, non ancora.
Adesso?
No, non ancora. Però forse Andrea ti può mettere in mute se tu non riesci. Okay, perfetto. Perfect. So what I want to add is a testimonial of being a participant to the Teleos coaching program, because I participated, I don't know, many years ago, to the very first program that was run in Italy for the organization that I was working. And then also being one of the main advocate of running an open enrollment Teleos coaching program, and also being a faculty together with Gretchen and Fran at the time. I had I am a learner, so it's one of my 5 strengths, and I had participated in other programs, coaching programs after the one I did in Teleos, and I actually I'm going to participate in an advanced program starting in December. So I can tell what is unique in my experience of the Teleos coaching program and what it gave to me. First of all, I think it's a program that more than any other program is based on helping you not only about the doing, but the being of coaching. It is definitely a transformational program. One thing that I say to people that decide to sign in the program, you're not just going to learn how to be a good coach. You're actually going to embark in a transformational program. Your life won't be the same after you've been through it. You will not be the same person. So be prepared to change your views about life, the world. There are people that change jobs after they've been to a program, or they change partner, or they change life. So this is something that is true to me more than any other program in the Teleos coaching program. And the second thing that I feel is unique in the program is the wealth of knowledge and methods that it brings you. So to me, it is a good foundational program, but it is also an advanced program. And you are exposed to ranging from Gestalt to emotional intelligence to a wealth of method that it's difficult to find in any other programs. And so these are, to me, the main 2 things. And I would add a third one, that is the fact that for some reason, the people that participate at Teleos programs are somehow unique. And there is the opportunity to learn so much from the others. And that's why also today we will have some experience in the small groups, because the kind of bond that you build with other participants in a Teleos program is like no others, because there are no other program that cares so much about building the community and the interpersonal relationships. And so this is the third things that you can get, is probably some great new friends and peers that probably will stay connected for life, as it happens to the people that I've been when I participated in the program. That's it. I leave the floor, I think, to Maria Grazia or Fran, actually Fran, right? So.
Great. I'm touched my heart is touched by the introductions and the testimonials of Marco and Francesca. My job here is at this moment, is to explain a little bit of the core theories that underlie our program, and to give you a little bit of more context coming from the coaching program kind of nugget in the middle of the whole program. So as Maria Grazia said, there are foundational psychology modules or workshops, and that is fantastic. And then there's the kind of the nugget in the middle, which is the Teleos Coach Development Program that we have run now. We were just starting our 20th iteration, which means we have more than 350 graduates, which in some ways is a big number and in other ways is a small number. Our goal is to support the transformation of individuals. We don't need thousands and thousands of students in our program. We want a few, and we want to care for them deeply. And that's just part of our school's philosophy. So I've been also touched by remembering the many conversations I've had in Italy with Marco and Francesca and Maria Grazia and others over the years to try to figure out how do we bring this back to Italy, because we have already run an open enrollment Italian, the TCDP in Italian in Italy 3 times earlier in the 2000s. And that is where Francesca Vender Romano joined us. So we have been there, and Maria Grazia as well. And then we have been in the United States and also in the United Kingdom. We've run 3 versions of our program in the United Kingdom, both for custom clients, for corporate clients, as well as for people who just want to sign up. So we've always been global in our coach development program, and actually as a firm, we're an organization development firm. And in the 2000s, spent quite a lot of time working with Italian companies. So there's always been a call back to Italy for us, because it's a place of such resonance and such community for us. In our Italian programs, we've always had European participants from other European countries as well. So that's that makes me happy, because the way that the program touches people makes people want to help and want to keep it going. I want to build on what Marco was saying in terms of life-changing. The reason that the program has such impact on people is because we are like the University IUSTO, which I think is a fantastic partner for us, interested in helping people express their shared value of service to community and service to individuals that you would be working with, right? So there, in its essence, we want to support you in being able to help other people be the best kind of person that they want to be and to achieve their dreams. If you were to look up the word teleos, it's an ancient Greek concept. So it's been with us for a very long time, us humans, which calls people to become clear about what is your noble purpose as an individual. Why are you here? And that calling is of service, says the ancient Greeks, and says everybody that ends up coming through our programs. So we don't know what your individual calling is, but we're going to help you find it. And in that process, teach you how to help others to find it. And what I love about the concept is that when we're at our best, we are helping. We're helping other people. We're helping society. We're trying to change the world and to move in a positive direction. And as Maria Grazia and Andrea said this morning, that with COVID-19 and also with many other social stressors, there is much need for help at the moment. So I'm more sure than ever that coaching is an important thing to learn, and it will benefit you and others. So that keeps us very engaged in terms of trying to support one another and support you. How might we do this? Well, there's a couple of core concepts. One is emotional intelligence, which many of you are probably already familiar with, which is in its essence, self-awareness of one's emotions and how do you manage them. And then social awareness, like empathy. What do I see about that other person? How might it feel to be them? And also organizational awareness. So that can be applied to both business organizations or small family businesses or government agencies or society. So we bring emotional intelligence, and we also bring systems theory. And systems theory can sound quite abstract. The way we make it practical is when we invite you to look at the context in which your client is working and living. So what is the system within which they are operating? And of course, you'll ask that question for yourself. And that which leads me to the third model, if you will, emotional intelligence, systems theory, and Gestalt. Gestalt theory is something I personally have practiced quite a lot, studied deeply, and been faculty on many institutes over the years, and have kind of imbued it into our, like an essence, into our coaching program, which related to systems theory invites us to ask ourselves, how are we thinking about what we see? What do we feel about, what we're about what we're interacting with the environment. What feelings does it bring up in us? So that's emotional intelligence also. And then not to feel that there's nothing you can do about it. So Francesca, I really appreciated you bringing Viktor Frankl back to our consciousness about, the essence of, in most extreme circumstances, people on some level have choice. And I don't say that casually. It's not an easy thing to think about questioning things in your environment and mindsets that you might have just never questioned. So to be a good coach is to be always asking yourself about your own questions. Or how are you making meaning about the choices that you have or the client has? We aren't advocates of any particular point of view. I would say we are advocates of asking the questions and to help clients examine the choices that they might have in front of them. So that's the highest sort of philosophical part of Gestalt. The scientific part of Gestalt, which has been proven since the early thinkers, is everything to do with perception. What do you even perceive as possibility? Or how do you take in the data of the environment? There are many social psychologists on this call, I'm sure. And so there's a whole field of study about perception, and that at any given moment, there are things that I perceive and there are things I don't even perceive, but they're still there. And so we want to explore that space when we mostly do it through dialogue and practice. So experiential learning would be another thing to know about us. And Maria Grazia said it, there's lots of practice in this program. But it's not like artificial practice. It's working with your colleagues, your classmates in the practice of coaching. Like we're coaching one another. So it's real work in that sense. It's not role plays. These are your real colleagues who are trying to sort out what they think and feel and where they want to go in life, which takes me to my fourth, maybe fifth model. This one, though, is in the intentional change theory. So if you would like some backdrop for intentional change theory, look up my co-author, Richard Boyatzis' work out of the Case Western Reserve University in Ohio, which is where Marco got his master's. He's been studying for 30 years, how do you help adults change and grow? And he has written, many, many articles, and then we kind of put it into a book here, How to Become a Resonant Leader, which is full of exercises, which becomes the backbone of our coaching practice. So we both have a framework. Thank you, Simonetta. You maybe have read the book. Framework that actually helps the coaches move through that relationship, and a research-based approach to how to support another person to make changes towards gaining the life that they want in their life 5-10 years from now. So in our program itself, that's the question that we will be asking you to think about for yourself, which is easily said, but not so easily done for some of us, that maybe ends up, like Marco said, in people being transformed through the process of asking those questions in a supportive environment with your colleagues. So, and when the reason that we do that is not only so that you'll be able to be living your best self, but so that you'll understand experientially what it's like for your clients in the future. So that's not that's a lot. And then because we are curious human beings with a lot of experience as faculty, we end up dropping in some other things like adult development, about trauma, understanding, you know, what are people bringing to our relationships, and how do we, you know, how do we work with that and decide when we shouldn't work with it at all. So let me just rest a little bit about the distinction between coaching and therapy, which is a question that always comes up. We're very, very clear that we are not therapists. So, and that there are circumstances where specific individuals really do need psychotherapeutic support. So we talk in our program about, well, when do we decide whether that's what they need or whether they're good enough with me as a coach? And there's no strong lines exactly right there. It's, I mean, there are some major flags, some red flags that say, okay, no, you know, they need that psychotherapist. But there's a lot of range of helping behavior that coaches can do fantastically with people. So we are a helping profession, but we help in the sense of a supportive relationship and help, and by inviting the clients to ask themselves, what do they want and what do they need? And what kind of support do they need? So in the journey towards getting the life that they want. So again, Gestalt lives in the present moment. Like we really believe that it's in the present and moving towards the future, that the past, while informative, does not keep us stuck necessarily, nor is it the you know, the answer to all things. Like all the answers are not in the past. The answers are in the present and moving forward. And that is very helpful as coaches, right? Because then it says we don't need to do deep exploration, and don't really recommend. It's not necessarily that helpful to do deep exploration of the past. Now, this is one of those moments where if we were in the program, I would ask for feedback. So what do you think? It's very, so coaching is a practical practice of supporting other people that's got a beginning, a middle, and an end. It's a time-based relationship, meaning maybe it's 6 months, maybe it's 3 sessions, maybe it's 6 months, maybe it's 9 months. And in the context of that time period, we agree, we make a contract with one another about what we're working on, what that person wants, how I can support them. And then I collaborate with them as they work on what they want to work on. So we are also not mentors. Let me just put that out too. We're not here to tell people what they should do. Because once you fully appreciate the power of people's life and whatever, you really understand that you have no idea what they should do because it's their life. You want to help them discover what they're ready to do. And to take experiments, to take small or larger actions that might stimulate a different response from the environment, different from what they would imagine, or a different response within themselves, something that they might have been afraid of. They actually take an action towards, and they realize it wasn't so bad because they were living in fear, but not actually stuck, but they felt stuck. So intentional change, the core of that one is that we help people build a vision of where they want to go. And then we help them figure out what are their kind of current capabilities. And then we figure out, well, what do you need? What are you missing? What do you want to learn? A learning goal or two that's going to get you where you want to go. And the coach is critical in that space to then help people on the learning journey. Part of what we do is help them construct what they want to learn, imagine it, and then also kind of work with them as they take some steps towards learning new things. So it's, in that way, it's very psychoeducational. And I wanted to come back to just to do a shout out for psychosocial or psychoeducational, which I know is a core value of this IUSTO program, and which is my home. I have a PhD in psychoeducational processes. I really believe that people can build skills. And that is what coaches help do. I also so as a shout out to you, Andrea, have a background in sports psychology. So learning how to help athletes or young people figure out how to start making action towards the life that they want is a very, very important time for a coach. So it's not performance coaching in the sense of sports coaching typically. It's more about, mindset and behavior. So I know that there's some sports people out there, and I wanted to just say hi about that. So intentional change theory, emotional intelligence, systems theory, Gestalt, that's working in the moment and with emotions. Other change theories that we find are helpful when we need them. Some developmental framework, the idea that people are always growing. Adult development with intention. So we're bringing intentionality to the party. A lot of attention to our own mindful practice. And so I'll kind of land on two final thoughts. One is the importance of self-development. That as coaches, we're human beings too, and we're evolving all the time. And we are modeling for other people that change is possible and that vibrancy in life is possible. That the link between purpose, spirit, as Francesca was talking about it earlier, is part of the human condition. And when we're more clear about it, we tend to be happier. And that it's a journey. So self-development is essential for all of us all the time. And so that's another benefit of going through this program that is 6 months long with a cadre of colleagues that are invested in your growth and development, just as you will be invested in their growth and development. And that is the place of magic that Marco talked about earlier. The final thing I would leave with is that to be explicit, that we are interested in how power operates in systems and in self. And that may be the Gestalt backgrounds. It might be the social change part of us. That, power is a dynamic that is in every person and in every system and situation. So we will often be bringing that lens to our discussion. When do we empower ourselves to speak up? Why might we disempower ourselves at any moment? And then when we think about systems, because a lot of us are leadership coaches, we have to really look about how power plays out in any hierarchical system. Well, in any system, really, any social system. In particular, you can see it in hierarchical systems. So if you're a leadership coach, you really have to explore with people how they feel about power, how they're responding to power, how they're enacting power that comes with their roles. All right, that's plenty. I think maybe there's more, but I do have to make some time for other people. So thank you for listening. And I would just love to have you join us and kind of play in the space of self-development. We also agree or believe in having a good time as much as we possibly can while trying to change the world.
Okay. Thank you, Francis.
Thank you.
Thank you to all. And now we start with some works in little groups. We divide the person in different groups, and we have a good time many time to work. Somebody made some questions, for example, Simonetta Capello. Non so se vogliamo rispondere subito a questa domanda. Or...
maybe we can answer, Andrea, if you agree, we can answer at the end.
Okay. After the work.
Because this is a question Simonette is asking, as you all can see, my concern is the difficult to define and understand if a person needs therapy or coaching. Yes, it is difficult. And I mean, what we are going also to try to teach is also this, when you realize that a person needs therapy. And sometimes it happens that the coaching session are aimed, and the goal of all the coaching path that the client is doing with you is just that they can get to the psychotherapy. So this is the goal that you have with your client. It's not easy, but I think that there are also tools and methods to understand when a person needs therapy or coaching. And this is something that, as I said in my presentation, we really wanted to talk about this and to teach you this, because it's very, very important that you don't, do a mess doing something that you don't know how to do it. As also Francis was saying, we are not psychotherapists. When you're using coaching.
Yeah, no, exactly. And so those of us who actually are not psychotherapists in some ways are supported by our not knowing so many diagnostic categories.
Yeah.
So I think there's also quite let's hold space for a range of possibilities based on where people are arriving to the relationship, our own history, right, and our own degrees of specialization. So you coaches can be very helpful on the surface of behavior. I mean, just at the very simplest level, everybody here with the right set of coaching skills and mindset and knowledge about where not to go can be very helpful to people, which I think we've seen. But it's the question that we explore for weeks, months.
Yeah, definitely. We are still exploring now, Francis. Sometimes.